Can longing be so powerful that it shakes the resolve of a man long known as the toughest on the world stage? This question arises after an unnamed internal source leaked sensitive information from the military base where Jungkook, the youngest member of BTS, is serving his mandatory military duty. In reports that have spread widely in South Korean media since last weekend, it was stated that Jungkook was seen quietly crying after receiving a letter from his family. It is strongly suspected that the contents of the letter came from his mother, a figure who rarely appears in public but is known to be emotionally very close to Jungkook. This issue has drawn attention not only from BTS fans but also from mainstream South Korean media. The reason is not merely because Jungkook is a global icon, but because this moment occurred during a crucial period, the final phase of his military service. With only a few months left before his term ends, Jungkook seems to be experiencing emotional burdens far more complex than mere physical exhaustion. The question now is Jungkook simply homesick? Or is there something bigger happening behind his quiet tears? Several analysts of Korean pop culture and military psychologists have expressed serious views regarding the news. The emotional bond between Jungkook and his family, especially his mother, has been an inseparable part of his personal identity. When someone like Jungkook, who has endured global fame, professional pressure, and now military life, cries because of a letter, that is no trivial matter, said Professor Kim Hyun-suk of the Social Psychology Department at Yonsei University. It indicates an accumulation of longing, mental pressure, and the need for affection that may have been held back for years. News of the letter from Jungkook's mother first surfaced in a vague post by a military staff member in a closed community forum that later leaked to the public. In the post, it was written, "He sat in the corner of the room after receiving a letter from his family. He didn't say anything, but we knew he was holding something in. His eyes were wet." The post quickly drew attention and was republished by several Korean entertainment news outlets. Although it has not been officially confirmed by HYB labels or the military, the narrative has gained traction as photos of Jungkook looking somber during recent training sessions began circulating. In terms of timing, this narrative emerged just weeks after BTS completed their internal activities under the BTS Festa Military Edition project, which showed several members in military uniforms delivering messages to ARMY. However, there was not a single clip or video snippet showing Jungkook speaking at length. This sparked speculation that there may be an emotional or personal condition he is carefully managing. Some fans have even linked Jungkook's silence during the festa to the news about the letter from his mother. Is this merely coincidence or a deliberate silent signal? Many parties have attempted to interpret the hidden meaning behind Jungkook's actions. An entertainment journalist from Ilgan Sports stated in her report, "The letter may contain something very personal, perhaps news about the family's health, or something that made Jungkook feel powerless." This speculation intensified after a statement made in a military radio broadcast by one of his comrades, who said that Jungkook is the most patient and calm person, but also the most emotional when it comes to his family. Speculation has continued to grow. Some have said that Jungkook's mother is unwell, causing the singer to feel guilty for not being able to be at home to support her. However, this claim remains speculation as there has been no confirmation from the family. But if the information is true, it cannot be ignored in terms of its psychological impact on Jungkook, who must continue serving his country while enduring internal emotional turmoil. Even more surprising, based on an exclusive investigation by a South Korean local media outlet, one of Jungkook's childhood friends who now resides in Busan claimed to have been contacted by Jungkook's family to deliver a personal message. "I can't reveal the details, but it was very emotional. His mother said she's always been strong for Jungkook. But this time, she also needs Jungkook to be strong for her," said the source, who declined to be named. This statement opens up deeper interpretations of the family dynamics that may have remained unseen by the public. Jungkook, who is known to always show a happy, disciplined, and professional face, may now be at an emotional tipping point that can only be understood through the lens of a mother-son relationship. And when someone under the world's spotlight like Jungkook has to hold back tears just because he cannot hug his mother, the relevant question is no longer about his fame, but about his humanity. This situation also reflects a broader reality of how Korean celebrities endure military service. Amid strict supervision, grueling routines, and intense mental pressure, longing for family becomes a psychological burden that is very real. Conditions like this often go unreported by the media, but in fact many young soldiers, including famous ones, experience depression or emotional stress as their service nears its end, said retired Lieutenant Colonel Choi Min-ho, a military analyst and author of the book Behind the Wall of Service. If there are no changes to the schedule, Jungkook is set to complete his military service in mid-2025. This means he is currently in the most emotional period, the days leading to freedom, which ironically intensify the longing for home and family. This is a psychological phenomenon known as reverse countdown anxiety, where someone on the brink of freedom feels increasingly anxious and pressured because the awareness of remaining time becomes more acute. The emotional moments Jungkook is experiencing are a reflection of the price a superstar must pay behind the glitter of the entertainment world. He not only has to maintain his performance but also hide his feelings from the public eye. However, as information like this begins to surface, a big stirring question arises. How much longing has Jungkook suppressed all this time just to avoid appearing weak? However, amidst the uproar of massive public emotional reactions, we need to pause and ask ourselves calmly, is all the information we receive about Jungkook's tears truly reflecting reality, or is it merely a narrative constructed for the sake of public opinion and media sensationalism? Is it true that there was a letter from his mother that made him cry silently in the corner of the military barracks? Or is this just a fragment of a story deliberately twisted to evoke sympathy and attention? Let us reflect again. Where exactly is the main source of this information? So far, the circulating news is largely based on uploads on platforms such as TikTok, YouTube, and Twitter, which in practice are highly vulnerable to manipulation, framing, and even fabrication. Are you truly convinced that the narratives presented in viral videos or anonymous comments can be used as a valid basis to conclude the mental and emotional state of a global celebrity like Jungkook? Or are we merely passive consumers of a larger scenario that we do not realize has been carefully crafted to create dramatic effects? It must be emphasized that until now there has been no official confirmation from HYB labels or from military institutions regarding the letter, the crying, or even the news about his mother's condition. Everything that has developed is merely fragments of narratives from third parties, arranged in such a way as to produce shock value and enhance the content's appeal. So the question is, if this narrative turns out to be untrue, who benefits the most from its dissemination? And who is most harmed? We are not stating that this news is entirely false, but we emphasize that its truth has not yet been verified. Therefore, let us work together to maintain the quality of public discourse by continuing to think clearly, skeptically, and analytically. Do not just believe, verify. Do not just share, scrutinize. And most importantly, do not just be swayed by emotion but also strive to understand the context. What do you think? Do you believe this narrative is sincere and authentic? Or is it merely part of a media strategy to create a wave of attention ahead of a megastar's comeback? How can we distinguish between empathy and the exploitation of emotion? Let's discuss.